All right. All right. Well, we'll spare you that again. All right. So here we are. So look, I'm trying to put together a whole thing here, starting from 0 to 60 in like, under 10 seconds. But so anyway, so take a look at this. If you see something on here that is not correct or something on here that you question or needs to be changed, do let me know. But this is what our team is starting to look like, and I would like to really nail it down. Okay, so we have three like channels or three sections there. We have our technical wizards, we have our business operations, and of course our friends of the dart there. So these are the people, and these are not the best pictures, and I apologize. And I'm always looking for, nice pics that if you have one, it'd be now. Okay, so just real quick again, this is our system, and this is the repeater part. There's a digital part to it, which we'll get to in a minute. But just again, I just want to hit the main points and then we'll move right on. I don't want to take up necessarily everybody's time here. But again, so this is the Quantar, the VHF repeater. Right now, we do have a 100-watt amp, and the reason I'm bringing this up right now is because the repeater that is up for consideration is not 100 watts. It's about 50, but I think we could make up for that. The boxes that are colored in brown or tan or gold, whatever, those are the parts that do appear on the bill of materials. So what we want to do is to take a look at each one of these components and ensure that they're okay, that they meet our list of specifications, which I'll show you in just 1 second. But let me show you. Well, wait, let me just hold on. I'm sorry. So here's the omnidirectional receiving the remote receive sites, right? It's some sort of omnidirectional antenna, a layered FG4405, if that means anything to anybody. And it goes through UHF preamp, and then of course a divider, and it goes. These are the four receivers. Currently, we're using Motorola MyCore receivers, and then it goes to the voter. And of course, the voter is what's at the heart of everybody's complaint, right? One of the things about the antenna project, hold on, let me just stand by just 1 minute, please. I got to get this cat, trap it in the room. Hold on. Okay,
John?
I got him. I got him this time. You got to chase them in the right direction, because if they go the other way, then forget it. I'm sorry. Did somebody say something? I was.
Yeah, while you're out, I was trying to get John's attention here. I might as well make a statement now that the Dart was on the repeater crawl this Friday night. And I think if we were, I'm hoping that AAU, you and myself and TOY and maybe a couple other guys that go over the results of the repeater crawl along with the simplex. And I think we can nail down, especially with John's help, what one of these parts you're talking about here is giving us a problem like it did on Sunday night on the net. Remember, we want to get this thing working the way it's supposed to be before we start changing things. So I think if we just had a small group working and looking at the results, because half the stations, more than half the stations, come in without a problem.
Right.
I kind of disagree about fixing it before we do anything, because maybe the changes we'll make will be the fix, and I'm afraid we'll just keep delaying it.
Oh,
so
I'm not saying to hold that up at all. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think the rest of you guys get on with the equipment.
Okay. So let me just show a layout of order of operations, kind of a thing. Can you just, Len, if you don't mind, I'm sorry to cut you off. Can you just hold that just for a second? Let me just get through this quick, and then we'll get specifically to that, because I do want to talk about it. It needs to be talked about. But I just want to make sure that we're all understanding we have the voter, the 4 receivers, the repeater controller, okay, and then the repeater itself, and then the duplexer, okay, and of course the antenna and all that. And we're going to do this as a phased approach. And here's what the here's what the IP portion of this looks like. The mystery artist of this circuit was John A8UU. Okay, who's I know his wife is ill and in the hospital, so we'll cut him a little slack there. Okay, so we'll come back, take a look at this. Now, here's the big announcement here. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to go for I was looking for Microsoft Project, but I guess that's all outdated. I've only been retired for 5 years and never. All right, doesn't matter. But so now I guess the big thing in terms of managing projects is this. What is this called? Teams, Microsoft Teams. Okay, so I'm planning on using this for scheduling, for communicating. I'm not really sure what it does. It doesn't really do 100% what I wanted to do. But does it do Gantt charts and things like that? We don't know. But I just want to let you know that this will be. We won't talk about it now, but this or something very similar to this will be coming down the pike very soon because we got it. There's a million little details to keep organized here. So I need one place where we can message and chat and host meetings and collaborate and all
And
that.
that can't be done in Zoom because Teams, I used Teams for many, many years.
Have you? Yeah.
Teams is like Zoom.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm just picking it out because I'm a Microsoft guy. I don't care what it is. I was actually looking for Microsoft Project because that's what I've used over the years, but I guess they don't do it anymore. Um, where we have a timeline and we can assign tasks and, all that kind of stuff, keep track of who's doing what and get updates. So if there is a strong preference one way or the other, we can stay on Zoom. I've
Well, I
always,
just don't know if it does what you need it to do.
I mean, I
And I
basically,
just wanted to make sure that you knew that
Yeah,
Microsoft
Mike is right.
Teams was
Mike is
just
right, Joe.
Zoom
Teams,
on
Teams is
steroids.
just like Zoom. It's to share stuff. It's a communication platform. It's not. It doesn't have the things that you're looking
Yeah,
for,
it's not
Joe.
it's not
Mike,
designed
Mike is right.
to
You're
manage
just
the
swapping out a
program.
different platform, just like Zoom. So it's not going to give you what you're looking for.
what am I, what's going to give me
Teams
what I'm
is
looking for?
Skype.
What?
Teams is Skype. So they wound
Or
down
Zoom.
Skype and started Teams.
Right. Do we have a preference? I don't, I'm neutral on this. Anybody have a preference? Because I'll sign up.
I think we should stick with Zoom.
Yeah, we
Zoom.
I
already
agree.
got it. We're paying
Stick
for
with
it.
Zoom.
Well,
Yeah.
I
Oh,
spent
we
a
are.
lot of I've
But
spent a lot of time
Microsoft-
learning Zoom, so I'd like to kind of stay with it.
All right.
I also
then
just looked it up, and Microsoft Project 2024 exists.
I could not find it and it wouldn't let me on. I'm telling you, Dave, I just got exhausted at that. And that's how I ended up with this thing. I mean, I know
Yeah.
Project. I mean, I don't have, there's no learning curve for me for Project, but if I want to get
Maybe
familiar
you can
with
send him a link, Dave.
whatever
There you go. I just did.
whatever whatever people are used to, the ideas we can all share our files and the libraries and the documents and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, I listened to a couple YouTubes on Teams and it was like, oh, okay, it's not 100% what I was looking for, but if Zoom is comfortable with people, I was one of the first Zoom users back. God, I don't even want to say.
Well,
when.
you'd have to buy us all a Teams account. Like the club would have to buy us all a Teams account. It's not just one account. It wouldn't just be your account. Everybody would have to have an account and an email address.
Is that right? Okay, I was not aware of. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you know what? I'm glad we had this conversation. So we will.
And I just in the chat, I just dropped the Microsoft Project link.
Oh, great. Thank you. I mean, that's what
I've never used Project. I don't know anything about it, but if that's specifically what you were looking for, there's Microsoft Project
Yeah, and I
2024.
haven't used it in years, but Teams and Zoom do not do what Project does.
Yeah.
So you want Project, Joe.
I do because
Yes, you do.
especially especially nowadays, I just can't keep track of stuff in my head like I used to. It's that's a whole nother story. But yeah, so we need just something that we all comfortable with, that we're all using, and we have everything all in one place, and the day of paper exchange, I guess, is over. Okay, so done. Next topic I want to talk about. I started take, although I ran out of time. I will say now that my daughter, and the reason I did bring it up more seriously, is now that she is away at school, I really have time to focus. One of those things is I want to build this out a little bit more, but we know that we're doing a phased approach here. So this first phase is going to be the antenna. Okay, so for right now, we'll just look at that, and it's pretty much what we had here, except we're going to have three more phases of this, because we'll have this is the antenna project. That's phase one. Phase two would be replacing the equipment at the VHF site in Oak Park. And of course, that can happen simultaneously, or build it. It would be built, I beg your pardon, it would be built. Our staging area is going to be at Len's house, and which is just ideal. And we'll get everything built and tested there. Now, Tony made a suggestion, which I think is a terrific suggestion, is those guys start working on the RF link. So Dave and Tony and John Teagarden, I'm sure will want a piece of that as well, and of course anybody else. But that we take a look at that. So let me just show you something regarding that here in just a second. But so we'll select our vendors. Hopefully by the end of this month, we'll have that all done. That's only 2 weeks from now, but go figure. Well, not 2 weeks, but anyway, you can see we're not far behind, maybe a week or so, but we're not exactly ahead of ourselves either. And this is likely to change. I'm trying to predict the best I can. Now, here's some action items, and I thank everybody for your contributions to what we need to be thinking about it. And again, once we get a fancier program, we'll have all this stuff, I'm sure, very well organized. But all right, the contract. The contract was sent to the attorneys. Fundamentally speaking, I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, I'm ready to go. Target date really is Wednesday, ideally, but we do need to have a legal counsel at least look at it. I reached out to the ARRL, so we got the name of the fella here in the Michigan area. He's based in Troy, but he's now retired. But his son is taking over the practice or something like that. And they're both hands, so that's a good thing because they're referred from the ARRL. So they get what's going on and so on. So then the next real big thing that you guys what we need to do here is to match the system requirements to the bill of materials. So I have a list of system requirements that we'll look at in a minute, and I would like to establish that to make sure that what it is we're building, we know the features and the capabilities of this thing, and we don't have it all put together and spent the money, and it's like, oh, you mean it doesn't do that? So anyway, okay. Then after we figure that out, we'll prepare a formal RFQ, so we have the same paperwork that goes to everybody. That's a pretty straightforward thing. And I've done that numerous times, so we can get that sorted out. Then we go to 3 vendors. Then now here, we have to, at the same time, these are like parallel paths here, although it looks like it's linear, but it's not. We have to plot the existing antenna footprint, which we will talk about in just a minute, so hold on to your thoughts there. There was some mention of RF interference. We have 3 cases going on, so we have to be particular when we're talking about RF interference. It's not just RF interference. It's either due to A, B, or C, whatever it happens to be. So I just want to bring folks up on that. The problems with repeater are not one problem. There's no silver bullet here. It's a combination of a lot of little things that add up to a big thing. So. All right, setting up a test bed for the 5 gig bidirectional data link between Dave and Tony and John Teagarden and all those interested. And if I didn't have anything else to do, I would join that team because that's very interesting to me. I worked with 2 gig and 2 gig, 6 gig, and 13 So 13 is like what, 14.5 gigahertz, something like that. Anyway, okay. So some questions as you're laying there staring at the ceiling. I can't sleep at night. What do we do with the old equipment after the new equipment is installed? So we need some sort of a plan, whether it's a backup, it stays, it goes, whatever. But so that then again, this shouldn't be under action items. This should be under requirements. But we want a digital link. This is in the wrong list. Replace the links with digital links. Those are the links from the remote receivers. Okay. According to Mike, VPC, and he is correct, and I have the photographs to prove it. You know where that antenna, the big antenna, the VHF antenna is mounted on the wall. It is buckled. You're absolutely
Yeah,
correct.
that's the mast for that antenna, or it's mounted to the wall. The wall is buckled.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant to say. Exactly right. So, oh yeah, oh yeah, it's time to get that thing fixed. Okay. And so on. So, okay, now, here's one thing that's like I can't keep track of see, this is why I need some sort of organization program. I was supposed to email certain people, certain pieces, either the contract or Andro, which is, I don't, pretty simple, frankly, which is good for us because it leaves everything wide open. So it doesn't nail us down. But if you need any of those, if you didn't get it, you should have. Everybody on this call should have gotten a copy. Let me know. And then, of course, I don't know why we have this tariff thing. Is ridiculous. But anyway, I mean, the price of everything's going up. So, but hopefully, smarter people than I are in charge of that. Okay, so here's crossing the goal line. Okay, I want any feature or capability needs to be on this list because this will be the list that we will use to determine, are we done? Did we achieve our task? And so on and so forth. So the first thing here, reliable transmit and receive coverage area. Well, that's pretty obvious. And we're going to do those footprint measurements and stuff. So we'll have a good idea on how that is both before we replace the antenna and after. Emergency backup power. I've always assumed, and I have said this numerous times, and the last time I said it, I thought, you know what? I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that everything where we are located in that utility penthouse is on backup power, but I have never seen any evidence of it. I don't never have heard the repeater being off the air, but we got to just make sure that we're plugged into the right place there. The other thing that the new repeater needs to have, of course, is a complete set, and we'll define what it is we need, but remote monitoring and control. I mean, even at, over the net on Sunday, I used to be able to get in to be able to turn off certain receivers, if one is weak and the other one's stronger. And while John was on AAAUU, in the beginning, I guess he was on low power or something, but we could have helped him out a little bit. So that's the kind of, I mean, that's just one small example, but remote monitoring and control is absolutely essential in all this. Station ID, well, we have that now, so we want to maintain that. That's a good thing. And beaconing, I'm not sure exactly, but if that has something to do with one of those beacon networks, I don't see why not, I guess. I just don't know a lot about it, but it sounds interesting to me. Crossband linking, which we do have now because the UHF does connect to the VHF. And especially once we get that data link in there, that'll be cool. We will definitely be part of the cool kid crowd there once we get that link in there.
Well, at least that's what we're hoping.
No, that's what we're doing. No, why would you say that? Why you don't think we can do it?
Well, it's
Well,
already linked through Echolink.
What?
It's linked together through Echolink. So that we'll just change the way how Echolink works, and
Okay.
it
Yeah,
should be okay.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, these are right, and we'll get to the nitty-gritty details, but we need to get these orders in ASAP. Well, first we need to complete the contract, which we will do. I honestly, everything like I said, I got the attorneys. So anyway, but I think it's going to be okay. So not to worry about that. Okay. High duty cycle components, right? Remember, it is FM and it's data, so 100% transmission. So don't, IO ports and things like that. I know we can define that when John comes back. Audio recording and logging. Oh, that would be really nice. Really, really nice. I have a
We have
recorder.
that currently.
Do we?
Yeah, I said it. I donated like a $5,000 sound card to the club that we currently have recording.
Is that rack mounted thing that's up there?
Yes, sir.
I don't know anything. I'm trying to figure out what it is.
So it's a biamp. It's a 12 channel USB sound card, but it's also a full DSP. So it's basically a full 12 channel mixing console.
Is it
Oh,
hooked
good.
up and accessible?
It's it is hooked up and it's currently connected by USB to the micro PC. And if you launch Audacity, it shows up as a 12 channel sound card that you can record 12 channels of audio individually uh, through Audacity. But we haven't, the whole idea of it was that the voter would make a decision, send an SSH command to the biamp, which would unmute or mute the appropriate inputs. And I was working with John on that. I was working on the audio side of it. He was working on the software side of it, but we just haven't come together on it just yet. But that was the whole point of putting that up there, was to have it do the muting and unmuting of the remote receives.
Got it. Okay. Let me just say this. And again, listen, this is the first time hearing about it. So if I'm off the wall here, let me know. But the real problem the voter has is not so much the switching, the switching, but the switcher works okay. The problem is the decision making process and the way that it judges. What it does is it measures the amount of white noise in the background. It doesn't even look at the signal. It just measures the amount of white noise in the background. And as a result of that, that's how it quantifies the level of white noise. And then it has like a counter that selects, the lowest value or something like that.
Right. And so when John was trying to set up the GNU radio or whatever it is, GNU radio.
Yeah, it's GNU. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
So he had that, or the plan, I don't know where we are at this, but the plan was going to be run GNU on an Arduino or a Raspberry Pi. We would connect it to the biamp via USB so that it could look at the 5 channels of audio coming in, main, north, south, east, and west, make the decision, and then it would send an SSH command over IP back to the biamp to say, hey, unmute north. And then when it unkeys, mute the north again and, maybe unmute west or whatever. But GNU would make the decision and then send the command to the biamp.
I see. I tell you something. I see a QST article in the makings here. Seriously. I mean, that's like big league stuff. And if
But that's why I have here in my line drawing that I can share if you want. It's really neither here nor there. It's the Excel document is the master. But
you want to give us just a kind of a rundown on what you got there, or
sure, you'll have to allow sharing.
Oh, I should have. I'm sorry. Did you? Okay, hold on a minute now.
Of course, that's going to go away once we switch to All-Star Voter with RT.
Yeah, and that's totally fine. It's no big deal. The only thing
But I'm interested in how it works because it sounds like it's pretty cool. So
yeah, well, it's if you want to meet offline, I have 5 or 6 of them here. It's as we throw them away in work, I take them. Because they're like
they're not cheap.
$5,000 to $6,000 piece of equipment. So I have no problem meeting with you, showing you how it works. The only thing I'll ask is that when it goes out of commission, I get it back. That's all I ask.
Oh, yeah, we're not going to toss it off the building.
So maybe you should finish your stuff here, and then we can go
Yeah,
up
we're
this.
getting off. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you,
Yeah,
Tom.
yeah, no, that's fine. If you
Yeah.
enable sharing, I can show you what I have.
That's what I'm trying to do. Why can't I find enable sharing on here? I'm like, I don't
But
know what's.
let's, Joe, why don't you finish it? Because I see the share button right in front of me. So you have enabled sharing. So I'm not
No,
sure
it says
why.
host has disabled participant screen
All
sharing
right,
if you
push
click
it
on the
again.
button.
Push it again and see if I get a something I can respond. If not, all right. Well, you know what? We'll move on. I don't know why I don't know why this. I don't know what I'm doing right now. Okay. Anyway. Oh, here we go. Got it. Got it. Oh, I just pushed something that said share.
Yeah.
Is it working now? Oh yeah. Okay. Very good. It was buried. I'm just curious to see what your thinking is on this. Can you make it widescreen? Oh, I could do. I guess that's me. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah.
So like I said, this is really neither here nor there. This is a visual representation, but AT&T comes in. The Dream Machine is a firewall, Unify controller, and the NVR for the camera is the Dream Machine. It's all built into one. It feeds the aggregation switch,
What is a dream? What
which
is a dream machine? What is that?
it's a piece of equipment that is it's all three built in one. So it's a firewall, it's a unified controller,
Got it.
and it's the NVR for the camera, so the network video recorder, so you can access the camera and visually look at the equipment.
Yeah.
The firewall will allow us to do all the port forwarding that we need to do. It'll
Okay.
also allow us to VPN directly into the site. So as if we've plugged our computer in the network up there, we can actually set up a VPN directly to the site for
Oh,
free. It's built in, and
okay.
then the NVR for the camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it'll feed the aggregation switch.
It's
We can
better
also
than
hand.
TeamViewer, right?
I'm
That's
sorry.
better than TeamViewer. It's like
Oh,
OpenVPN.
well, yeah. So TeamViewer will only get you into the PC, but if you VPN into the Dream Machine, it will be as if you brought your laptop up there and plugged into the network. So you'll get
That would be
everything.
better.
So is
Yes, yeah,
that
yeah,
that's a
absolutely.
term? That's a terminal, the dream machine. I mean, what is
No,
it?
because the computer is a terminal. The Dream Machine is a firewall.
Oh, it's just a firewall. Where's my phone? Oh, here. Got it.
Um, so it'll feed the
Okay.
aggregation switch.
I see what you got. Yeah.
Black black is data, red is either serial or USB. I don't know what the new repeater is, but I assume we'll want to hook it up to the PC. I don't know if it has a
Yeah.
network port on it or not.
Oh, for sure, it must. We won't get.
Uh, I just threw the voter in here. I put question mark because I didn't know what it was going to be or what it was going to look
I see.
like.
Yeah, yeah.
John had a couple of Arduinos in his drawing, so I put a couple of Arduinos in here. I'm
Excellent.
currently trying to see if we can do point to multi-point, kind of how we do with the UHF link. So it's only one receiving antenna at the main site, and then each one would beam back. So we don't have to have multiple receiving. It'll just be like each
Yeah,
one of these north, south, east, west, and UHF would be its own
yeah, it'll
point to
be
multi-point.
like TDM, time division multiplexing. So it'll send packets to, remote one, remote two, remote three, remote four, then back to remote one, two, it's time division multiplexing. It is also frequency division multiplexing, but in the digital world, it's gone to TDM really for the most part. But yeah, perfect. That's
Yeah.
perfect.
But then what I've been working on here, this is really the nuts and bolts of it here. So you got the device, the location, the VLAN, what its static IP address is going to be, and then which port it goes into the aggregation switch so that we know what goes where and what it's doing.
Got it. Got it. Now,
And I don't have it here. I meant to put it in, but when we're looking at whatever the microcomputers, the Raspberry Pis or the Arduinos or whatever we're doing, if we are able to get a PoE hat for them and power them from the switch, It means that even from your cell phone, you can open the Unify app, you can go in and you can bounce the port on the switch, which will turn off the Arduino and turn it back on again. You can do it from your phone, you can do it from your laptop, you could do it through the command, if you can do it through DTMF tones, like if the repeater will output I/O, you could do it through I/O, you could do it through SSH. There's loads of ways that you could do it. But yeah, if we can do a PoE hat on those single board computers, that would be ideal
Okay.
from my
Yeah,
standpoint.
sure, why not? Yeah. It's only a little module that goes in there. All right. Oh, this is, can
The
you
other
send-
thing I just want to mention, we
Yeah.
sell the watt boxes in work. You have to be a distributor to be able to sell them. And we are forgotten what the name of the company is, but the 8 port is approximately 250 and the 6 port is 150.
Okay. Okay. Do we get, yeah, so that's good to know. Those are lifesavers. Those are
Yeah.
lifesavers.
And those they go out to the cloud, so you don't actually have to like connect to the site to be able to turn up a switch on or off. There's a cloud portal.
Great. All right. So by next meeting here, we will have this all organized and a place to put it. But in the meantime, can you send a copy to everybody here? Or how do we do, what's the best way to do that? We don't, I have to, I'll
Well,
have
so
to-
my question before I send out too many copies of it,
Well,
is there
yeah.
does everybody want a copy of it? Only because it's not finished yet. It's a
Oh.
working document.
I do. I'll
Okay.
look at it and
All right.
add to it. And then we can, yeah, and by then, all right, I want to have everything in place by the end of this week, which if I do, that'll be impressive. But I've got the time now to do it. So that's a huge thing. All right, anyway, let's keep going here. All right, I think we're done with that. Did we finish? Did I say backup redundancy, hybrid digital support, of course, and automatic message playback? Okay. All right, so if you can think, please, of any other features that are critical in your line of work there, do let me know and we'll add them to the list and this is crossing the goal line here. We're in the end zone. All right, now to help us, and I won't spend a lot of time because we've already gone through a lot of this, I mean, it's getting late, but so I've been looking at the software here. Mike, you and I maybe get together on this, perhaps. Maybe Tony's interested in this. I'm not sure, but we can do a predicted map of our footprint, and so that we have something to compare to. I've used this program before, Radio Mobile. It's pretty cool, and you can see it does all kinds of things. So it'll help us keep track of what I like about it is once we join another network. I mean, the first step, of course, is establishing the wireless link between the two repeaters. But once we get that, then it's just a matter of duplicating what we did there. Because, right, doesn't it make sense to use the same technology, the same platform to connect the two repeaters together that we would use to connect to the MI5 or MI6 or 7 or wherever they are there. So anyway,
Well, that's what I thought we would approach them on.
what's that?
The MI5 group is my second company or whatever organization for
Right.
installing the equipment. That's our second vendor.
Oh, okay.
As soon as you're ready for any updates, I have one.
Okay. All right. Let me just finish one more slide and then I'll turn it over to you. And just if that wasn't enough for everybody, if we ever launch I'd love to do this one day, launch one of those balloons with a transmitter in it. Check this out. You can, with the camera pointing back, that'd be the coolest thing, I think. But that's a project for the future once we're done with what we're doing here. That's in front of us. And of course, there's other programs, this tower coverage program, things like that. But again, I'm pretty agnostic. I don't care what we use, but we got to get a project application so we can keep everything organized and some of this other stuff. Now, what I would like to know is, does this, all right, so we have, this is the list of materials, right? Now, so does, so first of all, let me just back up quickly and just ask Dave, I don't actually, this came from the proposal. Have you gone through each one of these and this is what you have on what you're thinking in your design, your network design? Is this representatory of that, or is this going to have to go through some changes?
It'll have to go through some changes.
All right, that's what I thought. Okay, of course it would. Yeah, it's too early in the process. Okay.
And that's if you this is what I needed. So if you can send me this piece of Andrew's
I'll send you. I'll send
grant
you.
application so that I can start matching up basically equipment with money.
I'll send you the whole thing. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, and also, you know, when there's a little logo in the lower right-hand corner, it means the information contained of the slide belongs to the club. Basically, there was some confusion about that and AI and all this other stuff. But my system is this: is if this is club information, so it should be posted on a shared site so that we all have access to it. Um, and if we want to take it outside of the club, we have to talk about it, I guess, or something. So that's one.
Yeah.
And I just want to say one other thing because it was brought up and it's, you know, but in terms of the use of AI, which I think is a great resource when used properly, I use it like I use the internet for redoing research and getting background information. I never use it to write in my own voice. So if I write something really goofy, believe me, that came from my brain. And as much as I like to blame it on ChatGPT. But it's interesting. I'm really a newbie at it, and I'm just taking it very, very slow. But for now, again, to me, it's just a supercharged internet. All right, next thing. So the antennas, again, the same thing. I just want to say one thing, Mike. I know we were talking about this at dinner. Look, this antenna model has survived 45 years, and it's like, why change it, right? If some, and I know the thing about the folded dipoles and that, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it, kind of thing. So we can go into that more, but honestly, I think we just replace it kind of as it is. But again, we got to get
Well, I have
these
no problems
quotations. But go ahead.
going
But
with
go
the
ahead, Mike. Go
same
ahead.
antenna. I just picked a folded dipole just to, I took a stab at the dartboard. I picked a folded dipole to start with, but we can
Yeah.
go back to the same type of antenna that's up there.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well,
It's
remember,
just you're gonna have to haul it off the side of the building versus the elevator. So
that's okay. It lasted 45 years. It's worth it. But remember, we are the dartboard, right? The dartboard. I think that's pretty clever. I don't know. Anyway, okay, enough of that. But okay, so we'll go with that. Here's what we don't have, and again, needs to be supercharged and really we got to there's a lot going on, but we don't have a process for ordering yet. It doesn't sound like a complicated thing, but we need to have a process, and I need to get Bob involved in it, and stuff like that. So my goal, and forgive me if I don't make it this Friday, but I would like to have that process at least roughed in on how we're going to go about ordering, who does the ordering and the tracking and with the receiving and blah, 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 all that stuff. So we'll have, I mean, it's not going to be overly complicated, but there has to be a definite, this is how we place our orders and keep track of our order numbers and all that kind of stuff. So, all right, more to follow on that. What else do I have? I don't know where I'm going with this now. Hold on, let me just take a look
I
here.
have a comment on this.
On the repeat, yes, yeah, sure, go ahead. Yeah,
I think it would be that's $7,000 repeater. So we're going to
okay.
take a $7,000 repeater and turn it down to 5 watts just to put a 100-watt amplifier on it. Why not go with what Sean recommended, a GTR 8000. Used is about $6,000. It comes 100 watts out of the box. You don't need to put an amplifier to it. It's just like the Quintar. Did I say Quantar?
Well, I'm sorry, what is it again?
A GTR 8000.
Okay, okay.
Just look on eBay. They're going on eBay. I don't know if it's worth
Is that Motorola,
buying
right?
one. It's Motorola
Yeah, okay.
GTR 8000. Let's put that on as A
Okay.
B.
Okay.
This one is a analog DMR, dual mode. The GTR 8000, I think it's an analog P25, and I don't know if it'll do DMR, but we're using strictly analog. And then the GTR 8000 is a 100 watt. Put a brick on the PTT and walk away, and it'll run forever. I don't know what I think the SLR will. I don't know if it'll run forever, but
I don't even know where it came. I just took it off the list.
yeah.
Okay.
So let's add
Yeah. Well, let's
a
look
GTR,
into it for
and we'll
sure.
have to find a picture of it to add to it.
I'll do the same thing I do with the antennas. We'll do it like a split screen, one on the other. But
Yeah.
listen, as long as we can hit the crossing the goal line things there.
Yeah.
And this probably is above and beyond what we have listed there, but
Because you'll have to buy an amplifier.
well, we don't have to buy
The
one. We
amplifier
have
that we have is gonna. I don't know what. I know that Murray modified it for the Fusion.
I hear you. We
And I
want
know, I think it's the one I bought just before I moved up north. And I know Murray fixed it.
yeah.
I think it burned up or there's something wrong with he had to modify it. So
But it worked.
that's all I know.
Yeah, but it worked. I mean, it worked. The reason we took it out of service is because we moved the repeater, the Yaesu repeater over to
Yeah, you took the Yaesu out of
Right.
service and put it up at the 440 site.
Exactly. So we never moved that. So, and now that's another footprint I would love to know is why do I think that the UHF has better coverage than the VHF sometimes? It just seems that way. I don't know. All right. Anyway, we were running out of time here. Okay. So, point well taken, and we will look into that. Can you comment? Any comments off the top there, Mike, on
Well,
on the
Artcom is the only company left that builds repeater controllers that I know of. Standalone repeater controllers.
Are they analog? Do they take analog? How do they?
Well, it's a repeater controller, so it'll have inputs and outputs and dry contacts, and you have to add
what am I talking about?
synthesizer. It's just like the one that's up there now.
Yeah.
Up to date.
Okay. All right. So that's a good, and it has lots of features here.
And we would have to buy all the optional voice board and
I mean,
all the little boards that go with it, the bells and whistles. So,
all right.
We could also look at using audio injections for the biamp.
Can you explain that? I'm not familiar with that.
So rather than doing it through the Arcom, we would just need one audio input and the biamp would do all the control.
Okay.
well, so would the using the RTCM type of remote receiver, because it all will be one coming into the controller. But then you have Echolink or All-Star. Well, that's All-Star. You have Echolink, and what else would you have to have with it? That's in addition to, would that biamp work?
Well, the biamp is just 12 analog audio inputs, 8 analog audio outputs, and digital audio outputs as well. Like when I say digital, I mean USB.
What's the model number on that? That's another thing I'd like to look at. What is the model exactly again?
It's a biamp Tessera
How do you spell
Dan
it?
VT. I have to look it up. Just give me 1 second. I can never spell it.
Oh,
Well, he's looking it up, Dave. That's a great idea. I think what you're talking about, it would basically vote by what are the strongest audio signal or the
cleanest.
Well, the decision would have to be made by something else. And then it would tell the biamp, hey, the east is the strongest, unmute that channel. And then it would unmute the east until it was finished, and then would mute it again, and then decide that the next one was the best signal. So the decision would have to be made by something else. And then it would send a command to the biamp to mute or unmute.
But we're
And
mixing two pieces of equipment here for a second. So hold on. So we were talking about a repeater controller. Now we're talking about a voter, right? Is that are you combining the two? Is that what you're saying?
yes, yes. That was the direction that I was going. Now, if we go a different direction, that's fine. I don't care. But the direction that I was going back before we got this grant and we were trying to do something better
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
having something else make the decision, and it would tell the biamp what to do,
Right.
but also with the 12 analog audio inputs, we'd have main, north, south, east, west, echo link, and voices and announcements, and then we could also inject the Morse code.
Oh, how interesting. How
So
absolutely.
like we're only up to
Yeah.
6, 7, 8 inputs out of 12. And then we can mix all of those down to just one input that goes into the repeater.
Right, right. And then how do you do the things like the announcements and the timer, the 3-minute timer, and all that kind of stuff? I guess
So
we'd
it
have
would.
to figure that
Oh,
out.
well,
But
the 3-minute timer, I guess I didn't consider that part.
yeah,
All
well,
right, never
but
mind.
again, it's this, I think you're thinking the right way. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe this isn't the exact perfect thing, but you're getting there. You're getting there.
Okay,
So,
I dropped the device in the chat. It's by M to Sarah Dan VT. It's in the chat if you want to copy paste it to somewhere else.
oh, great. Thank you.
And I
Thank you.
think I downloaded a manual just to try to figure out how it works.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
while I'm talking, and then I'm going to shut up, Mike, I dropped my email in the chat as well. If you want to copy that, send me an email, and I would have no problem spending a half an hour with you going over some of the options and the features that device has. And I'm going to shut up now. Bye.
oh, that would be great. That would be great. All right, excellent, excellent. Okay. All right, well, thank you, Dave. Thank you for that. Okay, and that's for right now, I mean, the isolator, circulator, it's a small thing. And we talked about it last week, and I think that's what I have for now. The big issue, well, oh, we got to do the dream. Yeah, we got to work out the voter. The challenge with the voter is how do we quantify noise in a way that we could use an Arduino or Raspberry Pi or something to be able to do that. Now, I'd like to have a session where we just talk about the voter.
I'm going to break my promise and wondered, is there, I have no idea, haven't
Yeah.
looked it up, but somebody smarter than I, is there a way of using AI to decide what is the best audio stream? Like we've got internet up there, make AI to make the decision.
Now that would be a great project, huh? I mean, whether that would work or not, I tell you that. See, that's the way to go. Yeah, that's good thinking there. Okay. All right. All right. Anyway, so that's what we have. This is oh, he just walked away, but okay, this was what I think we're ordering, but we'll nail that down.
Sorry, I'm here. I'm sorry.
Oh, here you are.
I just went to go try and find a buyer.
Oh, okay. All right. And
Okay.
this is my last slide here. This isn't networking. Is it, you're gonna, you said that you're gonna go through, I mean, this is basically what you're talking. So this is the Dream Machine that you're talking. Now I get it. I see. It's a router is what you're saying. That was my question. It's a
Yeah.
wireless router. Okay. All right. All right. That's what I have here.
I
Stick
have-
around for
I
next
have
year.
been-
This is next year's project. Okay, we'll get another grant, maybe. I don't know. Does anybody have And here, just interesting stuff.
One more for
Yes,
me.
please go ahead. Yeah, Mike.
Update.
Yes, please.
Got a
Take it away.
response from vendor number one on a quote.
Who
He's
is who
supposed
now?
he's emailing me or mailing by snail mail a written quote for how much it would cost to replace do the work up at the site. So as soon as I get it, I will forward it to you. I still think
great.
that we need to get with this vendor at the site to point
Yeah, of
out
course
this is where we
absolutely.
want it, this is where you want that, and make
Look,
sure that his quote is, because it's the first time I ever did that. So
yeah.
but
Listen,
the second group I want to approach is the MI5 guys, because they could take care of, they're bonded, insured, they're 501c3. We give them a couple of $1,000. They'll do the work. They have a crew that does the work, and they will help us set up the point-to-point equipment. Plus, they need a path from what I understand, they need a path from Novi to their network. And if we help them out with that, they would be happy to help us out with the antenna upgrades, the equipment upgrades, as well as what else is what I was going to say. The money that we give them will go into their bank account. And what they do with that money is they invested in more equipment to put more sites up. So it's not like they put it in their pocket and buy a Cadillac or whatever they do with it.
yeah. Is that these guys? Seamen?
Yep, that's those guys.
All right, so this is us.
And we can go through Sean.
Yeah, for sure.
He'll be happy
Absolutely.
to
Oh,
set it
he's
up.
the best. He is absolutely terrific. He's been a big supporter as well and encouragement. But this would be it. We would be right here, and we'd be the new orange. This would turn into an orange circle. That's our goal. But that's for next year. That's not part of this grant. That's next year. But I think what we learned from developing that data link, that wireless data link, I think that's going to serve everybody well. But if we could use the same platform that these guys use, assuming it's 5 gigahertz, we definitely want
And again, I'm going to emphasize it. It will be our own network.
Yeah.
It's not something that they'll just one day say, well, it's our stuff, and unplug it. It's our network. We're free to do what we want. It's just, it will also give them a route from Novi to their network.
Well, you do bring up a point, and we're all friends.
And Sean was adamant. We will manage it. We will have control over the buttons, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, that's what the attorneys are doing. They want to make sure that that
the ARRL doesn't take it away from us, right?
Oh, the ARRL. Okay,
ARDC or whatever we got the grant from.
No, what I'm worried about, somebody tries to rob a bank and talks on the radio while they're doing it. I don't know, talking to the getaway car or something.
Who's paying for the attorneys to look into this?
Well, now that's a great question. A couple of things. First of all, the ARRL offers this service to some degree pro bono. So, okay. But my feeling is, look, if these guys are doing a real service for us, I don't care if I'd make a donation to the, let them do it the right way, and we get it done, and we have proper, paperwork, and we know that, we know a couple of things. We know that we maintain the rights of control. We will establish, that list of exactly crossing the finish. When is it that we're released? In other words, we're responsible for building this thing because they gave us the money for it. So the question really is, okay, we built it. Is that is it done? Can we all agree it's done? And we're now not responsible for, whatever, financially, or we can close the books on it, basically, is what I'm saying. So I hope that makes sense. So not to worry about the attorney fee. But more to follow on that. Thanks for bringing that up. Okay.
On a side note.
Yeah, go ahead.
A little tiny one.
Yeah.
called the District 7 emergency coordinator or district emergency coordinator up in Mackinac City today.
Yeah.
I wanted to go up. Their meeting is Saturday and I can't go.
Oh,
I found out that there's a lot of things that are happening. They run a Northern Michigan linked repeater network up there. During the ice storm, they lost 2 towers,
oh,
not just 2 antennas, but 2 towers.
wow. Wow.
And there's some other problems that are coming up that some of the towers that they're using were formerly used by the county when they were on high band VHF.
Uh-huh.
Well, the county has decided we got all this real estate that's not being used, so we're going to sell it.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they got to work out how to stay on the sites. But the main thing is they lost 2 towers. Well, the one in East Jordan also had a radio station on it. It came down because of the ice. And then the one that's just south of Petoskey came down as well.
Wow.
So
Wow.
that's all done by ice, not wind. Well,
Yeah.
maybe wind had something to do with it too, but
Oh.
3/4 of an inch ice is a considerable load. Just make a comment.
It makes a great photograph for a greeting card, though.
Now, I think most of the antennas they use were the fiberglass sticks,
Yeah, okay.
but if the tower collapses, doesn't matter what it doesn't matter what you have.
Yeah,
It goes down with the ship. So
but we're on a building, so I honestly want to. My goal is to build the strongest surviving possible that we can. That makes sense, within reason, and hopefully we never use it, but you never know. Anyway, okay. Well, Mike, thank you for that. And I think, yeah, you could just write, if you wouldn't mind, just write a note. Again, this would be something that would go in the coordination program, but write a note who you're meeting. Well, I would like to be there when we do this meeting, but I think we're ready to step. This week, I got to finish the whole contract thing, okay? And then starting the next week, if you want to set something up, then we're ready to light up those Falcon engines, you know what I mean? Just take off. So anyway, all right, it's 8 o'clock. Well, thank you all again, and thank you for being part of this, first of all. It's great that you guys are here. It's a really, again, it's a good team, and I think we're going to go places with this, and each and every one of your contributions is going to help get us across the finish line. So thank you.